Good afternoon once again, ladies and gentlemen. It is your boy Lewis, and welcome back to the Lewis Basketball Network, man. It is your boy with another one, with another banger, with yet another video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to share this video. Only helps the channel grow. Truly appreciate it, guys. So, what are we going to talk about today on this wonderful, beautiful, warm Saturday afternoon? Yankees just lost a tough one in extra innings, 2-1. Not happy about that, but it is what it is. Hopefully we come back tomorrow. Chad Green is supposed to start. Hurt Tanaka got hurt, but I'm hope he's okay. It looks like he hurt his ankle in the 6th inning. And he was pitching very economically. He was only at, I think, 82 or 83 pitches through 6 innings. But we'll find out. But anywho, so Charles Barkley has made headlines recently, ladies and gentlemen. He had picked the Portland Trail Blazers to win this series because he doesn't think that the Warriors could win a championship without Kevin Durant. Now, I think what's bothering Charles Barkley a lot is his bitterness towards the Warriors. He can't stand the fact that a jump shooting team is winning championships. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the Warriors have won 3 of the last 4 championships, and they're on the verge. If they beat the Portland Trail Blazers, they will make their 5th consecutive NBA Finals trip. So that's got Chuck a little heated, and so every time he makes these predictions, he was really surprised and upset that the Blazers lost Game 2. And the issue that I have with Charles Barkley is that you can tell that every time he talks, when it comes about his basketball career, and other teams winning championships, or other players having a chance to win championships, or players, win championships, he gets very bitter about it. And it bothers him to this day that he didn't get a championship. And the one real shot that he had back in '93, which in his opinion, he said he felt that he was better than Michael Jordan. Now listen, when you're a great player, you have the confidence and the belief that you're better than anybody, no matter if that player happens to be better than you. But the fact that he lost the series 4-2 and to Michael Jordan, it haunts him to this day. And he talks about how that he felt that after that series, his sons were never going to go back to the NBA Finals, and he knew it. Because he talked about, this was during, I think, NBA TV, and this was an open court series, and guys would talk about their careers. Charles Barkley has said that he openly admitted that he knew they weren't going to go back because of how guys were worried about money, guys were worried about vacations, they really didn't care about winning, so he knew they wasn't going back. And I think Charles tried not to, he just played and tried to treat it like it wasn't a big deal, but it bothered him, it ate him alive inside. And the thing is, the Golden State Warriors, today's Warriors, remind of him, of his Phoenix Suns, believe it or not. Because Charles Barkley was a post player, ladies and gentlemen, but who could also shoot the jump shot. It's just his bread and butter was in the low post. And his '93 Suns, statistically, if you actually do the comparisons, they coincide and they have a lot of similarities in terms of offensive rating to the 2018 Golden State Warriors. And it kills Chuck because Chuck was saying that jump shooting teams cannot win NBA championships, and he was on a jump shooting team. It's just he was their best player and he was their primary post player. But Danny Ainge, jump shooter, Dan Marley, there we go, Thunder Dan, 3-point shooter. So he had a couple of shooters on his team, which is why he didn't like the fact that, because if you remember, the Suns ran up and down the court. They used to run the floor, and in the half court they would post up Charles Barkley. But the Golden State Warriors, they play an up and down pace themselves. They have learned over the years to play more half court, but they were also, that their bread and butter is in the fast break and to be out in the open floor, which is what the Phoenix Suns were in that '92-'93 season. I mean, even the earlier Phoenix teams, they were a run and gun team. It's just they had a half-court player who they could give the ball to in crunch time situations. Whenever they needed a basket, they go to Charles Barkley. But the problem is now Charles he can't stand it. He can't stand the fact that the Warriors are proving him wrong every single year. Every single year he has said that the Warriors were not going to win. The only time that they didn't win was that 2016, and we know what happened with that. So I'm not even going to get into that. But he has just hated the fact that he can't win, that he wasn't able to win one, and all these players that have won have kind of trolled him. In particular, the Shaq, since he has 4 rings, has trolled him all the time. And it's like, if you don't really have a championship, you really can't talk, right, Chuck? So that's that's not me saying that. That's just other players who have kind of bashed Chuck for his opinions. And so I feel like when Chuck looks in the mirror, those Warriors that he sees are kind of mirror images of his '90s Suns, mid-'90s Suns, which were never able to win. I mean, remember, they had the best record in '93 and he was the MVP. They lost to Jordan and the Bulls in 6 with home court advantage. They lost all 3 games at home in the finals. The '94 Suns won 56 games. They lost to Hakeem Olajuwon and the Houston Rockets. Hakeem ended up winning the championship and he was the MVP that season. The '95 with Clyde and Hakeem, loses to them after holding a 3-1 lead. Sound familiar? And they lost the series, and the Houston Rockets ended up winning the championship. And that Phoenix Suns team in '95 won 59 games, which was the second best record in the Western Conference. I think the second or third, but I think it depending on what division you're wearing at the time too, though. So that's what I think. But that's what happened, ladies and gentlemen. And Charles Barkley just can't stand the Golden State Warriors, and he's hoping somebody would knock him off. So he has been emphatically saying that the Warriors cannot win without Kevin Durant. They cannot win. Remember, he said this with the Houston Rockets, ladies and gentlemen. He said the Houston Rockets were going to defeat the Golden State Warriors without Kevin Durant because he is too important, and they were not going to be able to win without him. Chuck, did you forget what happens when Kevin Durant is not there? They go back to their bread and butter, and that's with Steph with the ball in his hands. That's with the system being in place. Ladies and gentlemen, I've said this many times before. I'm not saying that Kevin Durant is not the best player. Never did I say that. What I'm telling you is Kevin Durant benefits from playing with Steph Curry. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I never said that Steph Curry was better than Kevin Durant. I just said that because it's in my opinion. People are going to be two-sided when it comes to that. They're going to say KD's the best. They're going to say Steph Curry's the best. I'm just saying, in my opinion, Steph is the best because of the attention he garners, because of the system. Durant said it himself, I didn't know how to play until I joined this team. Like, I have a lot of fun playing here. It looks a lot of fun playing in this system. These were Durant's words. I know that Durant is the best player. Steph Curry knows KD is the best player because KD can do things that Steph Curry cannot. Okay? They don't call KD Slim Reaper for nothing. They don't call him Durantula. I'm saying they don't call him a unicorn. They don't call him a 7-foot gazelle for nothing. Okay? Like, KD is an enigma. Okay? He is enigmatic. That is what Kevin Durant is. He's like that core of rock in the center of the earth, just getting ready to explode. That's what Kevin Durant is. He is such an enigma. And I've said that he is a transcendent special player that we have never arguably ever seen before. And I call Durant a shooter/scorer because that is what Kevin Durant is at the most highest levels, man. As always, as I'll keep saying, man, shout out to Meek Mills. Always levels to this, ladies and gentlemen. But going back to Chuck, he was saying that how Steph and them, we're not going to be able to win because, how they're going to get a basket down the stretch. Well, now Steph Curry's kind of doing the heavy lifting in the fourth quarter. And when I've said about Steph, I'm not talking about what he did in Houston. He late Game 5 and Game 6 saying, Steph Curry's better than Kevin Durant. I didn't say that. This is a whole body of work because Steph Curry gets disrespected a lot for a guy who was the number one guy before Kevin Durant joined, because last time I checked, Steph Curry gets the most attention on the team before Kevin Durant got there and when Kevin Durant is there. So I don't see what's the difference, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm talking about. So that's the thing that just kind of really don't understand right there. But so Chuck is he's been trolling as hard as hell, man, to try to say that the Golden State Warriors really are not, as I say, they're not a great team. He's like, Steph and Clay, they're great players, and Kevin Durant, and they got 3 of the greatest shooters in NBA history on one team, which is true. Yeah, I can't lie, Chuck spoke facts on that. But this hate for the Warriors, I mean, why do they deserve the hate? Because you didn't win a championship? So let me get this straight, Chuck. So now it's the Warriors' fault that you don't have a championship. Those Warriors didn't exist in your era. And ladies and gentlemen, if you remember, Isaiah Thomas told Steph Curry that he wanted to thank him and Clay, him and Joe Dumars. Why? Because he said that the Detroit Pistons got a lot of heat for the fact that, what's this guy's name? Bill Laimbeer was a center playing the 5 position, shooting threes, and their game was predicated off their guards in Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas, 2 undersized guards. And people said that the Pistons can't win a championship with 2 guards and your center shooting threes. The Golden State Warriors changed that paradigm in terms of a jump shooting team, and they've won championships. The thing is, as long as you can play defense, you can win a championship. Because remember, defense wins championships, ladies and gentlemen. It's like, you gotta understand that. So, like, it's ridiculous how, Charles Barkley is such a troll and such a hater so bad. And I love him on TV, man. He's such a personality on TV. He makes me laugh all the time. Chuck is funny, but he's a damn hater too. And he can't stand the fact that because his jump shooting team didn't win a championship in '93, that he has to hate on this current Warriors dynasty that's winning championships with being a jump shooting team. Not really having an inside presence up until they signed DeMarcus Cousins. So it's a shame that Chuck can't recognize greatness. It's like, to a point he does, but it's like he just can't let it. It's like, Chuck, let it go, man. Let it go. They're not the reason that you didn't win a championship in your career, so stop hating on them. You're acting like if this team existed in your day. As a matter of fact, that was your team, because you were the team that's mirror image of the current Warriors that we have right now in today's game. And if you look at the numbers, ladies and gentlemen, the 93 Suns have a very similar offensive rating to the Golden State Warriors of last year. That tells you that the 93 Suns can play in today's game. And just imagine Barkley getting to do what he wants without having to foul. Now, maybe in terms of the 5-second back to the basket, that would probably be an issue, to where he would hardly have to shoot more, so he would have to make more quick decisions in terms of his post-ups. But that's not to say that they can't thrive, because remember, Barkley can run the floor. If you remember in his prime, that dude was a beast in Philadelphia and with the Phoenix Suns. He can run the floor like nothing. The ability to go to coast for a guy that weighed 265 pounds and played the power forward position undersized at 6'4", and is one of the greatest rebounders in NBA history. He's a career 22, 23 point per game scorer. He averages 11 rebounds for his career, and he averages 4 offensive rebounds for his career. So it tells you Chuck could play in today's game. There's no question about it. And remember, Chuck can shoot jump shots too. Maybe not at a consistent level, but still can shoot though. I mean, there was a game, I remember that 56-point game against the Golden State Warriors in '94. This dude was just shooting jump shots, not just wet. And the Warriors never dealt with him in that game, which is so crazy. But like I'm saying, man, like this whole hate that Chuck has it's asinine. It's preposterous. He's just mad because he didn't win in his time, and now he has to take it out on players from today. Like, I just think it's ridiculous. Like, they hate on Steph, Clay, and KD. So he's hoping that the Blazers either try to knock him off, or he'll know for sure that Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks will knock him out. And I'm going to say it again, ladies and gentlemen, that's not an easy matchup for the Golden State Warriors. They're going to need Kevin Durant for that series for sure. But anyway, this is your boy Lewis back with another one. Let me know what you guys think in the comments on Charles Barkley's disdain for the Warriors, man. As always, bless up, one love, peace. Thanks for watching.